Hello, everyone, and welcome to Uncle Marv Live. I am here with Chris Snyder.
Uncle
Chris,
Marv.
hey, Chris. So, Chris and I just finished recording the latest episode of the Uncle Marv podcast. Chris is a long time friend of mine, going back to elementary school days.
Surfside for me, Holland for you. Yes, sir. When we were
Yeah,
integrated in a weird experiment.
integrated. Yeah, I got to drive over on the short bus.
That was a ton of
So,
fun. That was the whole podcast was a ton of fun. But yeah, brought up a lot of fun memories. You guys, it was I want to say you and Eva Long and a handful of others came over to integrate with us at the Surfside Elementary, and as we talked about, I think it was fifth grade. It might have been sixth, but they had that weird experiment where they put the gifted, which is a silly term, fifth graders in with the challenged sixth graders, which really just created an intense bullying situation. But we've all lived,
yeah.
built character or something.
Yeah. And speaking of, so Eva Long, I don't think she was at Holland. I think she was at Surfside.
Well,
So
I don't know. I have no idea.
I
I
don't
know
know.
that was Stephen Powell's first little girlfriend, so that there was some history back there. I thought she was Steve Parker Holland. I don't know, but that was a long time ago, as you mentioned,
Yes, it
back than we
was.
both care to admit.
All right. So I want to go ahead and acknowledge some people in the chat because people are already saying hi to you, Chris. So Jeremy Skidmore, Tony Kelly, and Wendy. Oh,
Yeah, how
Kelly
about
Skidmore. Look at that. Look at that. Dan and I are watching. So
that? Dan and
look at
I'm,
that.
yeah,
Look
Kelly,
at
you and
that.
Dan must be self quarantined and really bored if you're ducking in to check me out in Harmon.
Really bored. Yeah, if you're watching Uncle Marv's,
No, not you. We established you're one of the cool kids. It's all about
Yeah,
me.
yeah. So speaking of, so we did drop a bunch of names during the
Mm,
podcast, and I haven't figured out how to tag them on the Facebook. Well, I'm gonna have to start tagging people. But
yeah.
Melanie Ryder, Teresa Anderson, Paul Raub, Cindy and Becky Rusum,
Yep.
all people that somehow intertwined in our lives during the Satellite Beach years.
Yeah, it was a magical time. I mean, it was interesting even at the last reunion. Um, I was not one of the cool kids. I wasn't. I was just there, as we talked about. I was just around. But to go back into that room, and there were people there. I went to the one 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago. People I haven't talked to in 30 years, and you pick up just like that. It's really kind of a magical thing. Maybe everybody's reunions are like that, but I don't think so. I think we had a pretty special bond, and it was a pretty neat place to grow up.
I think looking back, and again, I had, told you earlier, I was so busy trying to
Mm.
do way too much that I didn't take time to, recognize how special it was and how great a town Satellite Beach was.
Yeah.
Um, and I should have. And
Yeah, I went running to Auburn University as fast as I could, and I've spent the last 35 years trying to figure out how to get back. I still duck in about once a year. Sometimes I'll get to see some folks. A lot of times it's just I duck in to go see Mr. Powell, and then I duck right back out again. I'll be at some business conference in Orlando or something, sneak over for a day.
yeah, so when I got onto the Facebook and just
The
to
Facebook.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know that I spent many years avoiding the Facebook,
Hmm.
and
Do you access
actually
that through the internet machine?
through the www, and we okay. I don't know why somebody's yelling Floyd. Is that something we should remember?
That's Mr. Powell,
No,
I think.
that's
His name's
Moose.
Bud, but I'm pretty sure Floyd was his first name. It's Amy
Oh,
Wellman. Hello, Amy Wellman.
Floyd was his first name. I never knew. I thought we just
Yeah,
called him Bud.
yeah, that was his nickname, Bud. Yep, Mr. Powell. I still call him Mr. Powell. He's 90.
Yeah, he's a Mister for us. For
Hmm.
us. And I just lost my train of thought because we were going to talk about somebody. But the Facebook. So the
Mm.
only reason I had to join the Facebook was because my college at the time, which is now a university, the only way that they were advertising the reunion was through Facebook. And I said,
Mm.
how ridiculous is that? There's a whole world out there that, doesn't need Facebook to live. And they're like, oh, that's what they've done. So you got to join the Facebook.
You
And
know, for me, I've loved it. And again, I don't live in Brevard County where I'm looking down where the Moisans may run into Mr. Powell. I don't have that luxury. I want to say there's 2 or 3 people that live in Dallas Fort Worth that went to Satellite High School that I know of, but I never run into them either. So for me, it's a fun way to keep up with people. I mean, listen, we've been out of school forever in 14 days. The weird cliques and the any sort of funk that could have been back there is long gone by now, and we just realized that we grew up in a unique place and we have something in common, and it's awesome to reconnect with people. I've had some great conversations with folks. I mean, I saw the speaking of the Moisans, they were out here a few years ago. Their son goes to Baylor University, and I met them and had lunch. I mean, it was just the Facebook on the interwide web has been fun for me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it is, and it's a great thing because I mean I'm embracing it now because I'm doing this, and we're doing a lot of things, and I've met a lot of great things. A lot of my work we do in Facebook groups, certain technical groups and certain vendor groups and stuff like that. So it is becoming a bigger and bigger part of my life. So I like to make fun of it. I like to call it the Facebook because that was what it was originally named. So
well, I love that you're doing this podcast. I said I got to see part of Ruples, and I've never met MacGyver, but I feel like I know him, and I just love that you're doing this. I can't wait to see who you do next.
I can't wait either because I don't know. So I got to start asking some people. But I didn't want to do what I did when I first joined Facebook. I just kind of put it up there, and I spent the next 2 days responding to the little ping, 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 wants to be your friend, and trying to, and of course I didn't have time to, click it and then turn to the wife and say, okay, this is somebody I went to school with, and this is somebody I went to. And trying
you know why,
explain.
Marvin? It's because we established this because you were one of the cool kids. Everybody wants to hang out with Uncle Marv.
No, I think everybody's just at the point now where any name you recognize from way back when, it's okay to be friends now, even if you weren't back then.
Maybe you're right. Kelly Kimball Moisand asked, and I don't know how to chat back. I'm sure you could tell me. That was Booger Red Saloon inside the H3 Ranch in the stockyards of Fort Worth is where we met that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at Amy. The possibilities. Oh, the places you'll who on
that
the
was a
Facebook?
typo. Go on Facebook. Yep.
Places you'll go. Okay. All right. Yeah. There's some dark holes on the Facebook that I don't like going.
I avoid those. I don't use my social media for anything other than connecting with friends and putting up pictures of grandkids, guitars, and occasionally my dog. So that's about it. Promoting restaurants right now. Yeah. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah. So you had mentioned that you seen the Moisans when they came out to visit you. There are like tons of people down here. I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
There are tons of people down here that I didn't know were down here that now I know, and I'm afraid to reach out to them and have them say, "Why didn't you do this years ago?"
Do it. Don't be afraid. It's like that Facebook thing that we talked about that I did a couple years ago. People feel good when they reconnect. Go for it.
True.
Do it.
True, but I didn't have time. I'm busy. I did call Mike Coe, and we tried, and I forget what happened. I forget. Mike Coe lived like 5 minutes from me or something like that, or we worked 5 minutes.
And we're not trying to do the Moisan show, but didn't Coe do like the Moisans and didn't he marry his high school sweetheart whose name I've lost?
Chris? Is it Chris? Chris Crimpin?
Chris Crimpin. Aren't they married?
I think so.
There you go.
I don't know if that's for Facebook. Oh, my goodness gracious. And there's Wendy saying, yes, Yuli and I got to hang out with Uncle Marv in D.C. a few years ago. Yes, they did. I had a conference that I helped put together. I didn't put it together, but I was one of the speakers at the conference. I helped promote it, and it was in D.C. And so I didn't stay at the hotel with the rest of the attendees. We actually did one of those, what was it, Verbo, or what's the online reservation thing where you can rent a house?
Oh, Airbnb, one of those Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb.
One of those things.
Yeah. So we did that because the wife, this is, so by the way, I am happily married. And the reason I know that I'm happily married is because she tells me that we're happily married.
The Queen Bee, Miss Kim.
Yeah. So what I told her, I said, oh, we're going to have a conference in DC and this and that. She was the one that said, oh, your mom wants to go. And somehow that turned into Marvin is paying for 10 people to go to DC. And I took the family. So we rented a house. And the first night that we were there, I did an open house party. And Yuli and Wendy actually showed up there.
How cool is that?
One of them had just moved there or something. So it was pretty good. So, yeah. So being on the social media does work and help to reconnect. So, Mike, if you're watching or listening or you hear this later, sorry I haven't called, I will.
We're going to ask you later. You better hold it. You better do it. It's worth it.
All right. What does Kelly say here? Give a shout out about our class reunion that has been postponed until next year. Everyone try to join us. So, yes. So, I didn't mean to do that. So, yes, the official class reunion for 1985 and the Satellite Beach locals did get postponed until next year. But Kelly, just so that you know, we are talking about still trying to do something virtual, where we do some sort of hangout on the virtual reunion. But yes, it has been postponed. And if you go to the SHS Facebook page, all the details are there. Tina is doing that. She has always done a fantastic job and will certainly keep us up to date on that. So the class of 85, and for those of you that are now trying to quickly calculate what my age is,
I'm happy to say 3 months older than me. That's your age.
That was a fantastic year, by the way.
Yeah.
And actually fantastic years. All those years in Satellite Beach were some of the greatest I had, even though you guys made me wreck my moped one night. So, Chris, you got a little admirer there.
Oh boy, I think she moved to Colorado. Yeah, it's the hair.
Yeah. So you joined the club, and now mine's not completely gone. Neither is yours.
Nope, I got a little bit. My wife makes me hang on to the little bit I have left. I really could care less.
Oh my goodness. All right. So for those of you watching, the podcast that Chris and I recorded earlier is going to be available probably in about an hour or two. And you can access that in multiple ways. The one way that I will recommend is you head over to unclemarv.com. Yes, that is a real website, unclemarv.com. And that site is going to be evolving, I hope, over the next few months. We're going to start putting up pictures and memorabilia and a whole bunch of things for you guys to download and contribute. Also, you're going to find the listing of episodes for the previous and podcasts that are coming up. So you can go there and listen to, I've already done 3. I've done MacGyver, who is Jim Gallo, a gentleman that I have known for years from Junior Achievement. Last week was Denise Schaefer. The week before was Denise Schaefer from Boardman, Ohio, who was also Junior Achievement. Last week was Greg Ruppel. And some of you know Greg. He was with us through Delora in the first year of Satellite. Then he moved out to Colorado. And this week, Chris Snyder is my guest on the podcast. And so
it will be the best 45 minutes you'll spend this morning. So.
So you can go there and listen to the episodes there. You can also subscribe to the podcast in your Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or wherever you go get podcasts. Just look for Uncle Marv and you'll see that there. And we'll be doing this every week or whenever people agree to get on the show with me.
Yeah, thank you for doing it, Marvin. It was so much fun. We had some great laughs and just a ton of fun to catch up. It really was awesome.
Oh, okay. I gotta address this. So Amy asked the question, what about taking my bicycle completely apart and throwing it on the roof? Screw your moped.
What is it about you and putting stuff on the roof? Because we put the picnic tables up on Becky and Cindy Rusum's roof. But yeah. Probably because you're the only one athletic enough to quickly climb on the roof.
I'm trying to remember why we did her bicycle like that. But I remember, Amy, I'm sorry, but nothing is off limits on this show, by the way. So I remember we threw her frame, her wheels, and all of her parts in a bag on the roof. I don't know how she got up there to get them down because I didn't help her, but I remember her walking home.
Oh man!
With her bike over her shoulder, wheels in a bag, and what did she say? That was to celebrate seeing all of us naked. I don't remember that. Did we do a skinny dipping thing?
Yeah, I don't think I was part of that party. I wasn't there for that one.
Oh, God.
That would have been a little bold for this shy guy.
Yeah, we're gonna keep this PG for that.
Right.
And of course, the picnic table on the Roosum's house. That was awesome, I think.
Mm-hmm. That was a good one. We had a lot of fun. There was lifelong memories made there.
Yeah, we did. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for Chris and I. Just giving you a little tidbit of what you can listen to on the podcast. We will come back and do much more of these. I will have Chris back. Oh, I didn't do this here because for people that don't go and listen to the podcast, one of the reasons that I had Chris on was because last year in 2019, Chris did a thing where every week he did a spotlight post on his Facebook page of people that either inspired or had some sort of impact or some sort of good memory in his life. So if you have not seen that, you need to go back and look at Chris's page and look at the people that he's highlighted. I'm assuming that a lot of people that ran through our circles were in that. I was on that March 12th. I didn't realize that I was going to be one of those people that you would highlight, but I wanted to give a public thank you for that, and didn't realize I had that much of an impact on you.
Well, you did, and that whole bit was just you can hear the genesis of it on the podcast, but just you can't give up the opportunity to tell someone they meant something to you, and life is about how you make people feel. You can't take it all with you. So if someone made you feel good and left a positive impression, share the love. So that was what that was all about.
All right. Yep. So that's what I'm doing here with these podcasts and these live shows, forcing myself to take the time to reach out to people that were instrumental in my life, and can't do it all at once. Can't reach everybody the first few weeks, but this is something that I hope will go on for, I'm hoping at least 3 months. I got to make it 3 months.
And if you need me to help executive produce this, I'll help line up your spots, because you need to keep doing it. It's awesome.
I just got to get people like, Amy Moose Wellman to be on the show. And as long as she doesn't call me jackass every other minute, I think we'll be okay.
Bring it. I'd watch.
All right, folks, head over to unclemarv.com and listen to Chris on the podcast and some of the other great shows we have. We'll be back again in the future. I'll have more podcasts, more shows, and everyone have themselves a good day.
Thank you very much.